so glad you could be with me today. I hope you're all doing really well. We're doing the How Is He Really Feeling For You video, which I haven't done for ages. I did the How Are They Feeling For You just recently, which I know used to be a very popular topic, and this is also another popular topic. So this is going to be, will he make contact with you, or will he contact you very soon? So we're going to put a kind of like a time frame on it. Not that I really like doing that because, you know, anything can happen. Life is fluid. But we'll say within the next 3 months, okay? And this could be, obviously, for those of you who may not have had contact for a long time with your person. You might be having a break from each other. You could be in separation. It might have been a long time since you've heard from them. Whatever your situation, obviously it means you're not in contact every day, okay? So we're going to be seeing, will he contact you very soon? We got 3 readings in front of you right here. We've got the first reading, which is thankful, okay, which is the stone thankful. And this card here says, I need you. Your love and powerful light guides me home. Thank you for sending it to me. I do feel it, and I need it now more than ever. You give me hope that I can be happy again. So, wow, that's quite special. That's number 1. And number 2 says, believe. And so this one, he says to you, I've grown up since our last encounter. I have been working on myself, and I'm becoming someone you can be proud of. So that's pretty special as well. And I always say the masculine, no matter what the gender is, you know, I say masculine like he, divine masculine. It's just how I read. Number 3 is hope. And he says to you, I'm taking my time. This time I want to do things right. That's why I don't want to rush things and risk losing you altogether. I want it to be right. Very interesting energies coming through here, guys. So you could choose more than one if you wish to. They may be very different from each other, but sometimes there are very, you know, strong similarities. But you go with what your instinct is telling you, which one's drawing you in. It could be the messages that you've just heard or the stones here, okay, the river stones. And once we choose the reading, we will actually read the other cards underneath. So I'll give you a moment. Put your person in mind, guys. I'm just wanting to, like, kiss you all. I don't know why that just came through. It's so funny. I feel like it's a like a kiss from your divine masculine or something. That was just so freaking weird how I just felt that. Oh my God, the weirdest things come through. All right, so just put your person in mind and focus on the cards and choose 1, 2, or 3, guys, and we will get started shortly. Hi, group 1. That was so bloody weird with that kiss. Oh, so strange. I know I'm a weirdo anyway, usually. I'm such a quirky person. But that was just so weird how that just came through. I felt like it was like a like this, like a big kiss coming through for you. So I think that that's the masculine. I really do, because I do channel their energies as well. So that was quite interesting. So we got you have chosen thankful, okay? So I feel like your person feels very thankful for your connection, for you being in their life, for having this experience of actually meeting you. And this could also be you as well, feeling very thankful towards them for the lessons they've brought you. And, you know, I'll read it again. He says, I need you. Your love and powerful light guides me home. Thank you for sending it to me. I do feel it, and I need it now more than ever. You give me hope that I can be happy again. So he's thanking you for this as well, because he needs you. And a lot of the times the masculines don't want to appear needy or that they need anything. So for him to be able to say, you know, I'm in a place where I do need this more than ever, it means it could be some struggles he's undergoing right now. And yeah, he wants to be happy again with you. And so what we've got here is get clear. So I love these cards. The illustrations are so beautiful. There's the bird, which is the messenger, communication. And we've got she's reading something down here. So I feel like he's wanting to get clear in his head about what the next best step, you know, forward is. It could be that he's trying to clear his mind as to know how to come forward and what he wants to say. See, she's reading something. It's the feminine reading something. So I feel like he's wanting to send her something maybe that she can read, because contacting doesn't have to be voice message. It can be text, okay? So I feel like he might be really thinking about what he can say. Okay, so at the moment, if there's a bit of darkness, if there is some haziness and confusion in his life and he might be struggling with something, you are the light that comes in. And when he thinks about you, it could also help to clear his mind about what he wants to actually come forward with. Being a break in between, time out, or many, weeks or years or months apart, he's had time, to really understand his feelings around this, what you mean to him. So 41, 4 and 1, usually I read it like as in the tarot as well, 4 and 1 is 5, which is the Hierophant. And it's all about learning. It's all about being disciplined and looking at one's values. And I feel like that's what he's been doing on his journey, is trying to work out where he stands in life, what he feels about relationships, how he feels about this connection. And it could be changing. So it does feel like he's growing, this divine masculine. He is maturing. There has been definite leveling up for him. Yes, he's still in something here, but it definitely feels like he's done some deep thinking. He's very reflective. Is that a word? I don't even know. But he goes into himself, he's introspective, and he is definitely reflecting on his past actions and choices here, and it's the consequences of those actions, in other relationships as well, because there's been a pattern that follows him, and it's not necessarily a really bad thing. We all have something that we are trying to overcome and master, and I feel like he really does want to overcome. It could be an addiction, it could be just a habit, a way of dealing with things, issues, problems arising. He might go MIA, he might ghost, he might just shut down. I feel like he's a communicator, though. That's so weird. I feel like he wants to talk. I think he's very articulate. What am I saying? He can articulate himself very well. And I feel like he definitely wants to come forward and give some kind of explanation. So it could be that some divine feminines are doubting, his motives or intentions, when this communication happens. So he wants to make sure that he's really getting clear here and not beating around the bush. He really wants to come forward with either an apology, an explanation, as I said. It may not be that he's ready to promise anything. We're going to read other cards and see what's going to come through, but I do feel like he definitely feels that he owes you this, that you need maybe even some kind of closure in an area where things may have been left up in the air between you. And he does not want to hurt you, did not want to hurt you in any way, even if it's indirect or direct, he didn't want you to be feeling heartbroken over this. So, and he may never have let you know that he does need you, that he does appreciate your energy and company and attention and everything you've ever given to him. He may have in some ways taken advantage, maybe not meant to, not meaning to, but that's how it's come across, because he just wasn't able to give what, equally or to, enough to this connection, because he was hiding, or he was just fearful. If he opens up and gives too much, will there be a huge loss? There's lots of fears that can come in. And some of them only for a very minority of you, very small minority, is that he may have gone into another connection, another relationship, and you may have felt quite rejected over that because he chose somebody else, or he just moved on fast. But I feel like he's not feeling completely satisfied in that connection. It has taught him and helped him to grow, but he's still feeling like there's a hunger, he's still feeling thirsty, he's got a thirst for something more meaningful, very deep. And I feel like he's now looking at you and thinking, well, I had that with you and I could have had more with you. Very interesting. So we're going to get another message from him. He says, I'm interested. I know you are focusing on other things and it makes me curious about what you are doing. I want to share your dreams. So definitely is keeping an eye on you. Might be looking at your social media, could be hearing about you through mutual friends. You know, some of you could be in a very, what's the word? You know how some people can still be friends on Facebook, but they just don't talk to each other anymore. It could just be that he might like a post. It's very subtle, or make a very short comment, you know, very vague comment on something. It could be that for some of you. Because I just feel like he's keeping an eye on things. He is interested. And yeah, he wants to know more about what you're doing and what your interests are these days. And especially if there's other people, you know, other suitors. I think he might be really keeping an eye on, you know, who is attracted to you, who are you attracted to. So for some of them, they are very curious about what you're doing in your life, and also maybe very interested in, you know, anything you're doing as a hobby or a passion or a career. I feel like he really is looking up to you in that light as well, and just proud of you, secretly hiding in the shadows, looking at you with admiration because he sees your light. Let's get an idea. Will he contact you in the next 3 months? Well, yes, I definitely get this. This is amazing. So the sun and the star. Now, I never want to say this is absolutely 100% set in stone, okay? Because as we say, life is fluid. Anything can happen at any given time. But as I'm reading this today, if things still keep going the way they're going, yes, it looks like he is, because the sun is a positive card. The star is a wish come true. So maybe some of you have been really wishing and hoping that he does message you, because it could be that some of you don't feel like you need to be the one chasing. You feel like maybe it's in his, you know, the ball is in his court. He has to be the one to do this. So there is Aquarius energy and Leo energy coming through here. And the Hierophant that I read before is Taurus. So it definitely shows that there's this happiness and elation. I feel like he wants to come through, or will come through, with something very hopeful, inspirational, and positive. Okay, so let's see what else is going on here. No, I don't want those ones. Whoopsies. So he's feeling weak at the moment. I'm about to break. I actually feel, when I look at this, I think he's about to break from something that's holding him back in his life. It could be a relationship. It could be that he's just been too stubborn and proud, okay, with something, and he's just been holding his tongue, like he's not saying anything, but I feel like he's not going to be able to hold back for too much longer. That's what that feels like. And I want you right now. Where are you? Oh my gosh, he's really feeling that void with you not being there, okay? And I've been meditating and expanding my mind. I am starting to see. So he has become, as I said, emotionally mature. He's grown in himself. Maybe he is, you know, maybe he did have some kind of, what do they call it, existential crisis, like midlife crisis for some of them. But it's just a feeling of being lost on his way. And he's starting to come back. And see the sun? He sees your light, Divine Feminine. I feel like he's looking at the stars at night and thinking about you. And the meditating, it's so interesting. So he's starting to really, as I said, go within, be introspective, and I will always forgive the mistakes you make. I promise I'm coming home. Don't give up on me. Wow, that's quite amazing, quite strong. And he says, surrender to the present feeling. And I often think of our last intimate times together. Your heart will heal. So he sees that you have so many amazing things, a lot of support from friends, family, you know, people just love you, you shine. And he really wishes that he could also have that shine to him, so that you could be also like magnetically attracted and drawn to him. So at the moment, he's very drawn to you, very attracted to your light, your magnetism, your charm, just your beauty, just your sense of being able to just be quietly confident, okay? And that's something that he really aspires to be. And he says, wow, our time apart really gives me time to reflect. I've been able to look at our relationship with more clarity. This is so bizarre, because we're saying about reflecting. This card, get clear. So he's getting clarity on this. It's amazing. And my heart melts every time you look into my eyes. So he's looking at your photos when you're looking at the camera, and he's imagining the first time you locked eyes. He's remembering that. And look, we are magnetizing each other. Your radiant light draws me in. Oh my God, this is just confirmation. I love this so much. I love this when these messages come through, confirming exactly what we've said. So, wow, like that is the sunflower, like the sunshine, the positivity, the light, okay, that you both have. Like he does have light within him. He just has to tap into that. And he says, I meet you in my dreams. I think about your body. I want you in my life. And I'm tired of feeling alone. So, yeah, maybe he's got some self-confidence issues there where he just feels like he's not good enough for anybody, you know, at the moment. So what does his shadow self say? He says, I feel so detached from life, reality, and you. So he feels on the outer, okay, and I am trapped in my addiction. So there's something there he's still overcoming. And it feels so cold in my heart when we are apart because you are the warmth, okay? You are the warm home. What's his higher self message to you? And he says here, oh my God, this is crazy, guys. Your light helps me navigate through the darkness towards you. This is just crazy. Wow, it's so amazing. And I love that you're a free spirit and social butterfly. So he's really looking at your photos. He's maybe hearing about you through friends, or if you're in the same town, maybe he's seen you out and about. He just loves that you're able to just follow your dreams and be who you are. I feel secure that not everything is about me or a reflection of who I am. It's so bizarre, that word reflection, reflecting, keeps coming up as well. And yeah, it's almost like how he sees, like how he thinks other people thinks of him, and even you, maybe those doubts that fall into his mind is actually how he feels about himself. So he's starting to learn that, okay, not everything is something I have to take personally, you know. So what are his doubts here? Would you take my independence away from me? So there could be this feeling of really being fearful of falling for you, opening right up, and then falling into like a codependent trap. And it could really freak him out that, you know, he could lose his heart to you and be broken as well. And he says, wow, look at this. I have a lot of addictions you don't know about. This is crazy. So the other one said something about, what was it? I'm trying to see it here. I can't remember, but it said something about I am lost in my addictions or something. What if you can never forgive me for my past mistakes? So for some of you, it could have been an addiction that did break you apart. An addiction could be anything from smoking, drinking, gambling. It can be addicted to sex. It could be just a pattern that he is just addicted to, like a toxic trait. Maybe there's a like karmic kind of journey he's on. Maybe he keeps revisiting things that he shouldn't be, like relationships, certain relationships, going back to an ex or whatever it is, you know. And he says, I want to feel your sweet lips on my face. I want to hold you down and kiss you forever, and you have ignited a passion within me that can never be extinguished. Oh my gosh, look at this, happy outcome. So this is what he's wishing for, this is what he's hoping for, and for a lot of you, it is actually going to be a reconciliation and a happy outcome. So what is your advice card for you, Divine Feminine? What is your advice card? Okay, very interesting. So say what you mean. So there's got to be clear communication. When he comes back and says something, try not to be too vague. Because he's going to be confused, okay? So divine masculines definitely just need it upfront and assertive because they don't always know what the cryptic stuff means. And it's so funny because a lot of feminines will, it's so funny because I see these memes, right, where females will, feminines will say certain things, but they actually mean the total opposite. And the guys get completely flustered and confused and go, oh my God, like she says I'm fine, but she's actually not fine. You know what I mean? So yeah, he just wants you to be very real about your feelings. Don't close down and make out that there's no issue. If you do have an issue, you know, just be able to talk about it. I think that it doesn't have to be a blame game or anything, but he knows that there's some hurt there. He wants to make it right. He wants to like bridge that gap and meet you halfway. And I feel like, you know, that could be a part of something he is afraid of as well, that he's going to meet with resistance or aloofness, okay, if you're aloof. So just being, coming in with integrity and really telling him how you feel, you know, validating that, but at the same time, yeah, try not to make it confusing for him, because he does definitely need to know what you feel, what you might want, and how something might have made you feel as well. So try not to, and I'm not saying this in a way that you do this, but sometimes feminines, not necessarily mean to, but it can come across as game playing when, you know, they might say something and not, it just kind of leaves the guy thinking, you know, well, what does she mean by that? And he might come back with the question and then she's still vague. So it's just very much about, and it could be passive aggression. I'm not sure exactly the energy I'm trying to tap into right there, what I mean. But, you know, sometimes feminines can do that, just wanting that attention from him. Or it could be, you know, wanting to get revenge because of how he treated her in the past. And I'm not saying you're like that. You know, there is a lot of people who do that, though. So, yeah, because it's out of hurt. And it's just maybe a topic the feminine might feel uncomfortable about going there with, and it could bring something up for her as well. So she just needs to be truthful to him and just say, look, this is making me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this right now. Or it could be that, you know, I just need some time to think about what you've said, or, you know, not being reactive or vague. Okay, so that's just something coming through there. So I'm just seeing, is there something else I need to pick out here? Just one more message, guys. One more message from him to you. He says, I feel I have loved you for 1,000 years and more. And baby, you're the one I love. You're the one I need. I will choose you every day and always. That is so sweet and so beautiful. I hope this has resonated with you guys, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Love and blessings. Hi, group 2. Welcome, guys. That was just so funny how that channeled message was coming through with that mwah kiss for you guys from your masculine. Oh, I do believe it's from him, because that was just so weird how that happened. Believe. Okay, so, you know, it's about believing in the connection, believing in yourself. I feel like he's trying to believe in himself right now. And he says to you, we'll read it again, I'm learning. I've grown up since our last encounter. I have been working on myself, and I'm becoming someone you can be proud of. So he is really going on the up and up here. He really is looking at his past mistakes, his choices, his actions here, taking the lessons from them, acknowledging that, taking accountability, I feel, which is really good. Yes, and I feel like he's listened to the things you've told him in the past, and he has taken time out to really think about deeply what his flaws may be in relationships and how he approaches love. And your message here is barriers, which is interesting. So maybe he's believing in himself that he can overcome whatever barriers have been put up, or what he's actually put up, okay, the barriers. Could be that there's other barriers. There could be long distance, like a fair distance between you. That is a barrier. Could be a communication barrier. Could be a relationship barrier if he's in another connection, or if you're in one. There's so many ways you could look at a barrier here. But I feel like he's trying to overcome those emotional walls and barriers that he put up, okay? So let's see another message from him. Well, we've got 2. I desire you. You are so sexy and hot. My body is on fire for you. So he's got a lot of passion for you. And thank you. Thank you for being my best friend, even when I have pushed you away. Nobody knows me like you do. So I feel like he's really reminiscing and possibly missing your friendship if there has been like this break, separation between you. It could be that, and it doesn't have to be that. I mean, some of you could be on good terms too, you know, and just that he's away. You're both apart for whatever reason. But he really is cherishing the friendship and the bond that you guys have and that you've shared. And he is definitely finding a lot of passion with you. So it's interesting that's coming up with the best friend card here, because it shows me that he wants both of those things with you. Like he wants that passion and the physical, romantic, intimate connection, but also sees you as a soulmate, like somebody who is his mate, his best friend, his, you know, what do they call it? The partner in crime, that kind of thing. So let's have a look at what's going on here. So yeah, he's stuck. I can't break out of these illusions. And that's something he's trying to overcome right now, is that barrier of maybe feeling like maybe there is something keeping him stuck in his life right now as well. It could be that he's trapped in a marriage or a relationship or overseas. There's just so many things. It could be his own mind keeping him stuck, his own fears, you know, illusions that are rising up within him as well. So he is learning to overcome those fears and barriers here. So he says, I still have no idea what to say to you. So he's thinking about it though, okay? So he's really quite confused. Oh, wowese. I will be calling you soon. Leave the phone on. So there you go. So, you know, you can look at that and think, oh my God, he's not going to call me. He's got no idea. He's hesitating. But he is going to call you. For a lot of you, he is, okay? So I'll be calling you soon. Leave the phone on. So it does look like there could be an actual conversation here where you're hearing his voice. Some of you might get a text, which then leads to a conversation, but he, at the moment, is possibly freaking out. He doesn't know what to say. Like, what do I say to you, you know? How do I come forward and make contact maybe after a long time? Or, yeah, he's like, what do I say? Because he wants to connect with you, but what could he talk about? Some of them are trying to make an excuse to actually make contact. But yes, I need space right now. So there is something that's going on for him right now. I know we are soulmates. How beautiful. And so, yeah, he's undergoing something. And can you feel me with you? Oh, so sweet that is. And he says, I dream about you all the time. And when I awake, I swear it feels like we were really together. And you make me so happy I can't wipe this smile off my face. So he's got some very positive, beautiful thoughts and feelings for you here. Maybe even more so than you realize. Listen to your inner voice. Please don't be influenced by what other people say. So if you guys have had a history, or if there's just him worrying that people are going to be in your ear, that things won't work out between you, or that, you know, he's not a good person because maybe past mistakes happened, or whatever it might be. It could be cultural issues, differences, backgrounds, that kind of thing, where your friends or family might be saying, oh, it won't work. He says, I can see clearly now. I'm no longer in denial. So he was running at one stage. And we've got here, let's see. What does he want to say? You are the most gorgeous thing I have ever seen. How could I lie to you? I'm so sorry. So there might have been something he just played right down. Didn't tell you how he was truly feeling. Ran away for a lot of you. And everything you want, I do want too. So he's saying, you know, I might have acted like I didn't want it, but I actually do. I do want it. And you light me up inside. And I am so vulnerable to you. Yeah, that's where it comes from, this vulnerability of opening up and feeling, yeah, just like vulnerable. You are like a goddess in my eyes. I am in awe of you. That's why there's vulnerability as well, because he looks up to you. He looks up to you and admires you and really respects you, and doesn't maybe feel like he's right on your level right now because he's still learning about things. And I really want to have sex with you, but it is so much more than that. That is so funny and so cute at the same time, because I feel like he really admires you, desires your body, desires you. He's fantasizing about this. But at the same time, he's saying it's not just that, though. So there's definitely this passion, but he definitely has strong feelings. What are his doubts? He says, would you take my independence away from me? And I have a lot of addictions you don't know about. This is so interesting because these two came up in the first reading. And this could be similar to the first reading. Just so interesting because I shuffled these just then. And so he might be feeling, once again, if he, you know, being vulnerable, if he just jumps into something he's not ready, really fully strong in right now, he's trying to build himself up, that it would become codependent, or he might have fears still. And you know, some people are scared of commitment and things like that. They're scared that they will be trapped in. Maybe he has been trapped in the past in a connection, and he just doesn't want to lose his independence. So that could be a fear. And I have a lot of addictions, so there could be so many things like gambling, sex addiction, drugs, smoking, drinking, you know, addicted to certain patterns or certain kind of people that he's trying to break away from within himself. There's things in himself he doesn't like. So let's have a look. What's her shadow self saying? He says, stop confusing me. So maybe he's been confused in the past. I wasn't being honest with you or myself. So there might have been an outright lie that he told some of you, okay? Or he's just not being honest with his feelings, okay? And I'm hiding behind a mask. So he's learning to be more authentic, okay? His higher self message says, I have the strength to face what matters and I am willing to work with you. Whoops. And this one says, I feel your warmth even from a distance. This is so beautiful. So let's see. Contacting you. Oh, yes, he is, because you are magnetic. I love this, Divine Feminine. You are a strong, confident woman. You might not always feel like it, but this is how he envisions you to be. Somebody who is very warm, because it just says here somewhere, I feel your warmth. This is the Aries energy too. So it's a strong leader, someone who's not afraid to shine and be a leader and stand up and be assertive. And make it in the world and be career driven, all those things. Be very creative. So I feel like he looks at you as like this queen that you are. See, the Queen of Wands. And he might not feel like a king, you know, he might feel more like a page or a knight at the moment. So he's trying to level up and meet you halfway. He wants you to be someone, like, what did he say? I'm learning to be someone that you can be proud of. So he definitely wants the Divine Feminine's approval. He wants your approval. And he says to you, let's travel and explore the world together. So he might be a traveler. He might like adventure. He might be worldly. He has these fantasies of traveling around with you and visiting beautiful places and old relics and looking at different things like that, museums, ancient lands, that kind of thing. You are so adorable. I love your giggly, bubbly nature. I've made a wish for us. I hope it comes true. And you are the most beautiful and kindest person I've ever met. And so your advice card, Divine Feminine, I think this is just gorgeous. Just making sure I got all the cards. I don't know if I got all the cards there. Hang on a minute. This annoys me when I go back on reading sometimes and realize, oh, I've missed a card. So let's have a look here. Oh, dream home. So he's dreaming of having a home with you. It could be that this is something he definitely is trying to build in his life, maybe literally build a house. But yeah, I feel like he envisions having, you know, himself settled down. He does want to settle down and have children in the family home. And this is your advice card, Divine Feminine, to appreciate and acknowledge the beauty that you are. And this is not just external beauty, this is inner beauty. Who are you? You know, what are you showing to the world? Are you embracing your full divinity? That beautiful light within. You are very creative. You are like a creative soul. You're a loving soul, caring soul, but also a warrior spirit. So I feel like you've really got to embrace this within you and keep being beautiful in the world. Keep showing that, because when you show kindness and when you're being true to yourself and following your passions and dreams, true beauty shines through as well. And I feel like he's seeing this. He really is seeing this beauty in you. But you've got to be aware of how other people see you. So it's really easy, and I know I've been on this path too, is to really put yourself down and doubt yourself. That's part of life. It's natural to do that. But at the same time, when other people say, oh my God, so many compliments to you, you got to believe it. And a lot of you do believe it. I think it's awesome, because that's what's empowering you as well, having supportive people in your life, having that positive self-talk as well in your life. And some of you might be reinventing yourself. You might be on a weight loss program. You could be looking at buying new beautiful clothing or getting your hair done, something that is appealing, like something that's very magnetic about you. And some of you might be meditating or just taking time out, getting massages, anything that makes you feel good. This is the Empress energy I feel here too. So you're definitely coming into that Empress energy, and taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, which is really important. That's something you got to do. Okay, guys, so that is your reading. I hope it's resonated, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I look forward to connecting with you guys next time. Love and blessings. Hi, Group 3. Welcome, guys. That was so hilarious what happened with the channeled kiss. Oh my God, that's so funny. Like, it was so weird how it happened. It has to be a channeled. It just felt like a channeled thing. So your masculine sent you a kiss. You chose hope. So somebody's holding out hope for this connection. I feel like it is the feminine, and the masculine possibly is as well. It sounds like he is. And It reminds me of the star energy in the tarot. So like a wish coming true, hoping a wish comes true in this. So maybe he's hoping that, you know, that you're going to be around still, Divine Feminine, because he is taking his time. He needs to. And it says, this time I want to do things right. That's why I don't want to rush things and risk losing you altogether. I want it to be right. And for some of you, it could be that you've just had some time apart. Just, you know, you kind of just let him go off and do his thing and find himself. And while you're doing that also. But at the same time, I think he's hoping that he doesn't miss the boat, you know, that he doesn't miss the opportunity of actually being with you at, you know, at the end of it all, because he does need to take his time. He needs to work on himself here. And your card here is progress. So it looks like, you know, he is progressing on his journey. He is leveling up, so to speak. He is emotionally maturing. He is learning. He is wanting to do things the right way. So he is being methodical and conscious of every choice and action he takes, and every decision he makes here. So he is trying to do things in the right way. He is trying to change old patterns and behaviors, because he realizes how serious he feels about you and this connection. And some of them might have even promised you, like, just give me time to work something out. Some of them might be coming out of another relationship and he's asking you to just be patient with him. It could be that he's undergoing undergoing some healing. Okay, maybe it's a detoxing from an addiction or whatever. Some of you have somebody who's incarcerated as well, so it could just be that at the moment, obviously, there's restrictions there, and it could be a little bit of time before he's out. So for some of you, it could be a year to wait or something along those lines. But whatever it is, whatever your situation is, you know, it could be also that he's overseas or at a long distance, or just needs to, in another state, you know, work out what he's doing in wrapping some things up in order to be with you. Could be that. But there's progress. There is movement forward. It could be very slow steps forward, but there is something happening. And 3 and the 6 is the 9, which is the Hermit in the tarot. So it's the Virgo energy, and it talks about number 9s in numerology is also the end of the cycle. Okay, so it's talking about the chapter is coming to a close in his life, and he's just needing to take time to be able to deal with that. Now, if he's going through a divorce, you know, settlements and financial settlements and things like that can take time. Sometimes when there's family or children involved, it can be complicated. But whatever your situation is, he is working on himself. Some of you haven't been in contact for many years or months, and you may not even know what's going on, but he is working on himself. There is progress being made. And the Hermit is also someone who does withdraw. They go into themselves. There's a lot of analysing and a lot of reflecting, a lot of wanting to make the right choices. Everything has to kind of be perfect and organised. So that's interesting, that's coming through there. Let's get another message from him. Wow, there it is. And this one actually turned up as well. So I'm lost. Nobody seems to get me or understand me but you. I feel so alone. So, wow. So he's reflecting on this, that the only person who ever really understood him was you. And yeah, he's feeling lost on his path. So this is why he needs to take time to do things the right way. And yeah, there might be a lot of karmic relationships in his life right now he's trying to navigate through. And it says, I'm coming. I'm sorry for everything I said and did, and I promise I will make it right between us. I'm coming back. Wow. Okay. So if we're talking about will he contact you very soon? Yeah, I think he will be. But we're going to see, you know, more cards as they come along, because he's coming back, but that could be a year away. Like, we don't know yet. So let's have a look. What does he want to say to you? What else? Yeah, it's hard to get these cards out. They don't feel right. Hang on a moment. This is interesting. So I feel like it's like this hesitating, like he goes to say something or text something to you and he's stopping himself or deleting messages, because that's what I kind of see here. I want to run my hands all over your soft skin and through your hair. So he's fantasizing about you and what it would mean to be, you know, back in your physical world together. And I am constantly seeing signs connected to you. I feel like he's seeing your name or hearing your name somewhere. He might be seeing people, if he's walking down the street or something, he might see someone who looks exactly like you. And it just, yeah, it makes him really long for you. And I don't intend to come and go. I'm just overwhelmed when I feel you moving on and scared when things are going too well. So some of you could have had an on and off connection where there was like this intense, you know, very strong passion, very strong love, very deep, must have happened, you know, could have rushed in and been really like this full-on explosion of energy and then and of love and passion, all those things. But then maybe he withdrew very quickly. Maybe he feels that you're moving on. See, it says, I feel you moving on and I'm scared when things are going too well. So if he feels that you're moving on without him, you know, that's why he's feeling lost as well, because he wants to come back like right now, but something is restricting that. So yeah, it does look like he doesn't want to constantly let you down. Doesn't want to come in and not be able to deliver anything else but words, you know, and maybe for some of you sex. It could be that he really wants to do it right this time. He wants to get himself sorted, okay? Because maybe you've told him that as well, like, clean up your act, or I need this from you, and he might promise it. He might have promised things, come in and just not delivered it, and you're like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I need to move on. I will always forgive the mistakes you make. So it's almost like he's trying to say, please forgive mine. And he says, I never wanted to hurt you. I am sorry. So yeah, I never wanted to hurt you. So let's see what his doubts are, okay? What is he doubting? He says, what if you end up leaving me for another person? So what if you end up leaving me for another? So he is worried that he's going to be, as I said, too late. Too little, too late, or whatever they say. It's like, yeah, he's worried that he's going to come in too late, that he's not going to be fully who he needs to be, and that you would want to take back, okay? Have I done these ones? No. Oh my gosh, look at this. I miss the way you taste, those soft lips on my face, your warm embrace, everything you gave desire. So, you know, whether you've been physical or not, whatever, there's an intimate energy right here that he's missing. It could have been that you were talking over the phone or FaceTime, you know, face to face. You may never even have physically connected, but there was this strong sexual energy between the two of you, regardless. It's interesting how that happens and how it can work. For those of you who have been physical, he's fantasizing about this. For those of you who have never had anything like that, he's still fantasizing about this for some reason. So here we go. I want you in my life. I think about your body. So this is a very strong sexual, very strong chemistry in this connection, and maybe that's also what's helped this going. Like when you come together, it's really quite passionate. It's like very out of this world, and it's very intense. And then when things die down again and start to become a little serious, that's when he's backed out. I feel old without you. Yeah, you bring this, it's almost like he misses you desiring him as well. You turn me on so much. Wow. So I have to say there's a lot of sexual tension in this connection. And yeah, when he feels, you know, sexual, when he's in that moment, he's thinking of you, okay? Could even be if he's intimate with someone else, he's still thinking of you. So with you, I'm on cloud 9. You are my heaven on earth. They fell on the floor, so hang on a moment. And so he says here, it doesn't matter where I go or who I am with, you're all I see. And I just said that. So, you know, in the bedroom, but obviously not even, you know, even out of the bedroom, I feel like it doesn't matter if he's having a fling with somebody or some kind of casual commitment, whatever it might be, I feel like he's thinking of you. You are so sweet. Thank you for being so compassionate. So yeah, he misses that side of you as well, where you're really a warm, sweet person. And he may have felt in a lot of ways he didn't deserve that from you. You are always in my thoughts. We are mirroring each other. And you are the one I dream of. So there's obviously things here. I'm just checking my cards because I always forget which ones I've done. There's obviously, he might feel that in some ways you guys are trying to overcome the same kind of insecurities. You're both healing each other. Wild. Nothing can tame a spirit like this. So it's almost like he has been a bit, like he's used to having a free life to come and go as he pleases. And maybe very independent, maybe someone who doesn't really want to be tied down. But for some reason he keeps coming back to this, you know, and to you. And I'm about to break, weak. So he might be trying to hold himself back because, let's face it, he wants to do things the right way. He doesn't want to just come in and have this whirlwind romance with you and then it just die down again and people get hurt. But yes, it's very much I'm about to break. I'm feeling weak. I'm feeling like I'm going to text you soon. It's that kind of thing. Yes, so will he contact you in the next 3 months? Oh my gosh, yes he will. Look at the lovers and look at the desire they have for each other. Someone could have a tattoo. Someone could be a Sagittarius because they're there, but it's Gemini energy. Very interesting. So yes, he's almost like magnetically drawn to you. He cannot get you out of his mind. Like there is a definite soul connection. He's feeling that very strongly. What does his shadow self say? So he says, it feels so cold in my heart when we are apart. Yeah, because it's not just a physical sexual chemistry, it's a soul chemistry. Okay, so I'm hiding behind a mask and I am stuck in my grief. So there's something definitely holding him back here. And his higher self says to you, I am strong in myself and know everything is going to be okay. And he says, I trust that you will be gentle with my heart. And I'm finally holding myself accountable for my own actions and choices, which is something that he may not have done before. And so he's learning now, okay, well, if I'm ever going to grow or experience any great things in my life, in a relationship and earn your trust, you know, that's what I need to do. Every part of you is beautiful to me. It is like you were made just for me. And you are so fertile and natural. There is no one else on this earth for me but you. You are my other half. Oops, fell on the ground. They love doing that, don't they? Oh, okay, here it goes. I want to feel your sweet lips on my face. All right. And he says here, you make me feel like I'm on cloud 9. I want to hold you close and slow dance with you. And you inspire me to be a better person. Because he looks up to you. And I feel like, what was I going to say with that? Yes, when he's away from you, he regrets his actions. He really has time to think about things. He really misses you. And yeah, it definitely feels for some of you like it's been an on and off thing over time. So, you know, when you've come back together, there might have been a really beautiful talk about things. He might be understanding some of the things he's done or what he wants from this connection or what you want. But he's maybe not really been able to promise a whole lot because he knows that, you know, he'll back out, he'll run away, he'll make excuses or shut down or, you know, ghost, whatever. But I do feel like you're the one that he constantly thinks about. It always comes back to you. And it may even annoy him in some ways because it means that he knows in order to come back to you, he has to do some hard work. So even though he's willing to do that, at the same time, it's not easy. But also at the same time, he's respecting you for that because it means he has to, you know, be held accountable and look at himself and be real, be authentic. Okay. So yeah, you're really making him work hard and you know, and I think it's great because he needs to grow in himself and he wants to do things the right way. It shows me that. So that's really, really good there. Yeah, so releasing blame. So I feel like that's something if there has been, there could have been some resentment built into this connection, even though there's a lot of love and passion. Someone might have been feeling, it could be the feminine, feeling quite hurt, feeling angry with the way things have happened, being let down, whatever it is. And it could be that both of you are trying to release blame and just heal. He wants to come into a playful energy with you. So in the past, he might have just come back and just made out nothing happened, you know, and just wanted to get on with it and not really face things. But you've really made him have to face things. And that's what I feel like he now knows he has to do in order to win you back or come back into this. But yeah, he is worried that it could be, you know, too late by the time he does come back in. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just seeing what cards. My memory is crap. Can't remember what I've done and what I haven't done. I think I've done pretty much everything here. We're going to get an advice card for you. Divine Feminine. An advice card for you. Because, I mean, there's a gorgeous connection and he is a lovely person. But there's definitely some things there. So don't sell yourself out, okay? And what this means is that, and I've been in this position in the past where someone has treated me this way, even though there was genuine feelings. I definitely felt like I was being used at one stage, and I was allowing myself to be in a subconscious way. So I wanted his love so badly that I would do anything for him, and within reason, of course. But I let myself down because I didn't stick with my values. I, you know, let him get away with things because I had these strong feelings for him, and it was more of a negative attachment kind of thing, like a trauma style attachment rather than true love in that case. So, you know, sometimes we can have all combined. There can be true love, there can be toxic traits in a connection. And that's what I had with this one. So sometimes we can sell ourselves out, we can forget who we are, we can lose ourselves in a connection just to win their approval, just to have their love, you know. And so it's about being strong and empowering ourselves. And I feel maybe you've gotten to that point where you're like, no way, I'm not going to do that anymore. I need to be strong. I need to stand by my standards, you know, my high standards, my expectations, and not just crumble because there's huge love here and passion. Like, I need to be strong in myself, and I need to show him that I am a strong woman. I am a queen who's not just going to just run back to him at the drop of a hat. So it's like, yeah, he needs to be able to prove to you something. And being the one is putting yourself first, okay? You can be a leader and you can stand up and say, never again, I'm not going to get to a point where I feel shit about myself because of choices I've made in this connection, and where I can't really put full trust and faith and give my heart to someone who's just not ready to look after it and embrace it like it should be. So I feel like he is trying to get to that point. He definitely has this, I feel there is a love there, and I feel like there's definitely strong passion and for your body, and you might feel like in some ways it wasn't really balanced out. Maybe it did feel more physical rather than emotional. But I do feel like he's definitely got some very deep emotions here he's trying to work through. He's trying to work out how to express that because he does not want to lose you. But yeah, definitely looking after yourself at the end of the day, really working out, you know, what you'll allow from him. You know, some of you might get a text or have a conversation and just really just want to go very slow and feel your way through it and see where he's at now. Yeah, so it definitely looks like there's going to be some, it needs to be a proper conversation to work out whether you still want to revisit this again. So that is your messages, your reading today. It does show he's going to make contact. Yeah, but just being aware as to what is he coming back for, and is, because it did say he's tempted to break away and be tempted to come back before he may be ready himself. So just being aware, guys, and I hope it's resonated with you, and I look forward to connecting with you guys next time. Love and blessings. Okay, we're going to do some bonus messages. So we've got the Divine Masculine Dark Truths by Liz Harrison, as well as her Divine Masculine 101 cards here. So let's have a look. He wants to say to you, whoopsies, I long for you. I long for you. You are all I've ever wanted. I think about being with you sexually. So it's interesting because some of the readings were very much honed in on that. It's not that it's just about that, but yeah, definitely has so much passion for you and your body. And I'm a fool. I'm sorry that I lied to you. It was wrong, and I'm admitting that now. I was a fool. Hurting you hurts me. And I'm anxious. I struggle with pressure at work, at home, with you. I struggle because it makes me feel rushed to do things I'm not ready to do, and that's something I have to heal. And I'm understanding. I'm facing my truths and going within to become a better person. I know I have a purpose here, and I want to be able to work on that. And then we've got these juicy love messages by Confessions of an Angel Tarot. And we've got, this is more than I ever dreamed it could be. You are perfect. You make me feel so alive inside. And my love for you fills every fiber of my being. We've got my divine chakra love messages that I created. He says, I feel at home with you. We belong together. I love your sensuality. I yearn for your touch. Yeah, he's really feeling that. I can see clearly now. I'm no longer in denial. You make me so happy I can't wipe this smile off my face. We've got my divine love messages from your twin flame soulmate. Any of my cards you can find on makeplayingcards.com. The link is in the description box if you're interested. And he says, when you hear our song, know that I am with you. So you might have a special song together. He's definitely, it could be a song that really stands out to you and you're thinking about him, you know. It's not your fault. So he's admitting that, you know, it's his fault in this, whatever it was. And our chemistry is so strong right now. My gosh, yes. That keeps coming up. Oh my God, my cards just flew on the ground. And the card that turned upright, which one is it? I've got to find it. Here we go. This is the one that turned upright. Through my lessons, I've become stronger and wiser. And this is my newest deck, Divine Confessions of a Loving Heart. He says to you, you are the most beautiful and kindest person I have ever met. And I can't keep my eyes off you. You are so beautiful. Let's kick back and enjoy the night with a few drinks and talk the night away. So he loves conversing with you and talking with you and getting into your brain, philosophizing and all that kind of stuff. We've got Ocean of Emotion by Bridget Rao. And yeah, interesting. So I'm exhausted and drained mentally, emotionally, and physically. So life and everything has just taken it out of him right now. He's really trying to work his way through everything. And yeah, he's saying, and sometimes our connection with someone can be really exhausting when all the, you know, if you're triggering things within each other and there's healing that needs to be done, and that, you know, both have to separate and go separate ways in order to work on those things to come back together at another time. So it can be exhausting. And this is the Doubts of the Divine Masculine by Sister Moon Tarot. So he is doubting, oh, this is so bizarre. Would you take my independence away from me? This came out in 2 readings, 1 and 2. And I shuffled these, so it's so bizarre. It's coming up again. I still have abandonment wounds from my childhood. So there's abandonment issues here. And so that might be why in some cases he goes MIA before you can, okay? And my moods fluctuate and my mind changes frequently. I don't want to hurt you. So he might be, for some of them, very inconsistent, doesn't know what he wants. You know, he might say something and then do something different. So he needs to ground himself and find himself with that. This is my divine yin-yang oracle for lovers, messages of shadow and light. Shadow message says, it freaks me out that you can see into my soul. I feel naked. And the higher self message says, the confusion has lifted. I am so glad we're on the same page and understand each other. So that's coming in. And so what have I got here? Divine or DM's Confessions by Bridget Rao. Says, the reason I come and go is because I just can't stay away, but I'm not ready to give all I know you deserve, so I run. And I catch myself imagining our lives lived together and how it would all work out. I know you would treat me like a king. I promise I'm coming home, don't give up on me. That is sweet, that is. Whoopsies, hang on, I'm nearly dropping everything. And this is my Divine Oracle, or sorry, no, what am I saying? My Divine Love Oracle. Whoops. Winter recovery. So yeah, some of them are actually detoxing right now from an addiction. There's recovery mode. But it does show that things are probably frozen over at the moment and just need time to just, you know, in winter it's time to have that stillness, quiet reflection, things like that. He's definitely in that mode. Yeah, patience is coming through with this. So it's a bit of a slow journey for some, but it definitely is, yeah, his intentions are to come back and communicate. And we've got denial. So yeah, there could have been this journey of being in denial for a while. But he's really had no choice but to face things lately. So let's get one more message. What's Spirit helping him with? Self-sabotage. Very interesting. So yes, a lot of them are sabotaging the connection because of their own fears. And as we saw that one with the abandonment issues as well, like it's kind of like, well, I'm going to get in first and leave you before you leave me kind of thing. And it could be like a subconscious thing too. It's not always something they're very conscious of. The patterns that they do, if it's an on and off connection with you, like you're probably noticing a pattern. And we also have our own patterns, so we can trigger each other with things like that too. But it's interesting, Spirit are helping him with his self-sabotage patterns. So he may just cut and run a lot of the time in relationships, but it's almost like maybe every time if you do come back, there's going to be a stronger bond, and that scares him even more. And then when he goes away, he's really thinking about this, you know, the love that he feels, the missing you. But yeah, he's got to get to a point where he overcomes this. And I feel like for a lot of the readings I've done today, he is actually very committed to and disciplined and determined to overcome this pattern, because the love far exceeds, you know, will exceed and is exceeding his fears. So I hope that's resonated, guys. I love doing the bonus messages. I haven't done them for ages. And I look forward to connecting with you guys next time. Love you.